Welcome to the final review of our Overlook 2019 coverage. It was a great festival. We're back in Colorado, and we're talking about the festival winner.
The feature film winner of Overlook Film Festival,
And that is Vast as the Night. It wasn't voted the scariest movie because it's not scary. This is a sci-fi movie that happened to be at a horror convention. And this movie was so well made.
It was extremely well made. The director did an incredible job, and he deserves the win for this for sure. The movie takes place in the 1950s. That's all we're really going to talk about story-wise, I feel like.
Yeah, there's going to be a few things. This is one that we don't want to spoil anything. We're going to be talking more about like filmmaking aspects rather than story. We'll give a quick summary that I don't think is too spoilery. They put it in the trailer. This is a movie where you've got a guy working in a radio station who's getting some weird signals, and it could be flying saucers. Mm-hmm. He's trying to figure out the mystery along with the help of his friend.
Yeah, set in the 1950s, and I gotta say, I have to give a huge applause to the set director and the costume designer for this, because it looked amazing. It looked like it was in the 1950s.
Yeah, and wherever they ended up filming this, like they got the perfect town that hasn't aged at all, probably some random place in Kansas or Nebraska. They were able to make it feel like an authentic 50s movie and add in flavors that felt like 50s sci-fi without making it too campy. And that's a hard thing to do.
Very hard.
Andrew Patterson, the one who directed this is his first film, and I can't believe some of the things that he pulled off, all the moving parts that are in this. If you're watching the trailer, it's actually a clip from the movie where you're basically following the camera, this long, 3-minute tracking shot where you're going through a gymnasium filled with people. Everybody's moving out of the way seamlessly. There's so many good angles and shots.
Very well.
Yeah, the choreography. You're watching these people play what feels like an actual basketball game. A crowd fully responding to things that are going on, and a feel of authenticity that you're not going to see in a whole lot of bigger budget movies. And this guy is doing it in a single take. And there's about 4 sequences that have that, where I was
shots.
Just these sweeping shots, and I was left in awe after a couple of them. So they nailed it on the feel of this movie, the look of this movie, the plot was great to me. I really enjoyed this one.
One of the things, we got very lucky that the director did a really short Q&A right before the movie, and he said that he really wanted to take genre and take it seriously. So he took the genre of sci-fi and he took it seriously, and boy, did that pay off. It feels real. The story is very believable. The characters are believable. And just the cinematography is impeccable. Like Tony said, it has these really long, sweeping shots of pretty much from point A and point B to the entire town, and it looks so good. It reminds me of something that, as a kid, you're running through your town, and this is all the things that you'd see, the short little shortcuts and everything, and it was just, I can see why it won.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if this movie takes place entirely in real time, where it's 90 minutes and it feels like it's actually 90 minutes because people are taking a bike to their house, and it's a little tiny town. So they get there and you see cars coming up, and just, it felt like it actually happened in that real time, which is also something that's a little bit hard to accomplish because there's such a breakneck pace for certain parts. And whenever they do break it down and make it slower to give you backstory on these things, it's super effective. And these people calling into the radio station, and there's a certain peaceful demeanor to their voices and the way that they interplay off of this guy who's a very good
talker.
DJ.
He's a good talker for sure.
Yeah, he's just a fun guy, a guy that you would want to listen to on the radio. And they took these strengths of these actors and just elevated it to another level. And I really appreciate the work that they were able to put into it. You were talking about how he took genre seriously. The guy who directed The Revenant said that genre just stands for generic, and this is so far from generic.
So far from generic.
So I think that as far as a sci-fi movie, I don't know, it's so weird. This was good enough as an overall movie that it got a unanimous decision from the judges that this was the best feature film.
Yeah. And the thing, one of the small details as to why I think it worked so well is that, say that a character is literally doing one thing, like sitting at a soundboard or, a switchboard for a telephone, and there's not much going on, but the director did such a good job of making it interesting by just slowly zooming in on the character, and it's so subtle that, and you're getting so immersed into watching what they're doing that it was seamless. I think that's the perfect word for this movie, is seamless.
Yeah, and I would very much agree. And they never overdo their they never underdo their budget with like bad effects. They keep it very, very simple and locked in, and did exactly what they wanted to with the movie they had. There was one criticism I overheard where there was like a really weird choppy part where they meet some other people in a road, and that was the only part of the movie that felt a little odd. And I can forgive 30 seconds of just like people yelling to them.
Yeah, and I think that it was necessary because those characters help drive forward later on in the story. Yeah. So it's not like you met two random people that it was kind of awkward, but they had to use those two people to get the main characters to keep on going forward. Yeah. And I always appreciate that in a story. And
it also shows like a little bit of the chaos that would be happening in a situation like this. There's going to be like curiosities, and there's going to be just different things happening. So honestly, like this movie was a straight up like 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I can see why it won. I really appreciated it. I don't know if this is getting a theatrical release. I
would be very surprised if a distributor doesn't pick this up. But I could also see it being like direct to Netflix or something like that because it's small. And that's like, that should be criminal because this movie deserves to have like an actual real release. Mm-hmm. Like, I could honestly see this being one of those where it's like, oh, it only cost $200,000 and it made $75 million or something like that.
Yeah, if you get the chance to watch this in a theater where it's large screen and quiet and the sound quality is really good, I highly, highly recommend it. You'll get immersed, and you'll be you'll have as invested as these characters do.
So big props to Sierra McCormick and Jake Horwitz, because you guys did an excellent job leading this movie. There are other good actors in this movie, but the two that are the main focus are charming. They have a really cool chemistry. Like, it's kind of a funny chemistry because she's kind of like you could tell she really likes this
some
guy.
Sort of tension, but there's not much, but that's not the point of the story at all. It just helps. It's the reason why she gets in contact with him.
Yeah, like, and she's just like, she's an awesome nerdy type that's trying to understand a situation. He's sort of the same, and he's very intrigued, and he keeps saying, oh, this is very good radio, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, he's super into it, so like, it's, I don't want to spoil anything else about this movie. I think I kind of want to cut it off here. If you guys get the chance to see Vast as the Night, please go do it. It doesn't matter if it's at a festival, if it hits like your local indie theater, if there's any way that you can see it, especially if it goes VOD, because VOD tickets, it's $7 to watch it at home, and they actually make more money off the VOD than they do from an average movie ticket. So if it comes out like that, please see it and support this movie.
Yeah, this movie's incredible. If you have gotten the chance to see it and you want to share your thoughts on it, comment down below. Always like and subscribe. And if you really like us, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/humanechoes.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.